All right, hello everybody. How we all doing? Welcome to book club. Who's in the chat so far? Miss Traveler, Pureblood Gryffindor. Harry Potter's in the chat, damn. Harry and Hermione are on the chat. Chicken Whisperer. Can everyone hear me, by the way? Is my mic on? Jess, Abigail, Harry Potter fangirl, Miss Traveler, bookmarked, Harry Potter. Fatima, Baby Anthony's World, Autumn, how we doing? AYU, CNC, OPC, it's a lot of letters. I love it. Vada Kedavra. Kid Kish, Sharko, Injarts. How we all doing, everybody? All right, everyone in the chat, let me know who your favorite Harry Potter character is. Who's your favorite Harry Potter character? Let me see in the chat. Sirius? Yeah, Sharko. Sirius is my favorite. Sirius and Remus. Big Marauders fan. Luna. Deannies, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Dora. Fred and George. Draco. Luna. Harry Potter himself. Yeah, Harry Potter, I'd expect nothing less. Hagrid. Your favorite character is Hagrid? Hagrid had some sketchy parts in these chapters. I'm not going to lie. There were some moments where I was like, Hagrid, you're kind of... But we're going to get into it because these chapters were jam-packed. Like, we were really getting into the meat and potatoes of the Harry Potter series. Because I feel like Philosopher's Stone starts out like, you start out not in the wizarding world, and it's kind of given the background of Harry's life. So maybe it's kind of slow for some people. A lot of people, when they're reading Philosopher's Stone for the first time, like to go straight to the chapters where Harry's at Hogwarts and you're in the magical world. But chapters 11, like, onward in this are like, boom, there's so much that we're going to go over. And William, yeah, Dobby's your favorite. Hey, Slytherin, there's no Y in there. Kind of hard to pronounce that. Fred and George, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Was everyone reading chapters 11 onward in Philosopher's Stone? So the first thing that I noticed in these chapters was Harry walked into the staff room. I forget why he was going there. I think he was trying to tell the teacher something, but he walked into the staff room and Filch was bandaging up Snape's leg because Snape went to the trapdoor when Quirrell let the troll in. And so Filch was bandaging up Snape's hurt leg. And I was thinking to myself, why would Snape have Filch bandaging up his leg when he's like a master healer? In Half-Blood Prince, we see Snape like healing all of Malfoy's wounds when his body was ripped open by Sectum Sempra. Snape like easily heals those wounds. So why didn't Snape use magic to heal like a cut from Fluffy? Why did he have Filch bandaging up his leg? Like, that didn't. Yeah, Chicken Whisperer. Yeah. He went to get Quidditch through the age of vacuum safe. Yeah, Fatima. Like, I was wondering that. Yeah, because it was like, we hear, and whenever Dumbledore gets hurt or like cursed or anything, like the first person he always asks for is Snape. Snape is supposed to be like a master healer, yet he has Filch bandaging up his hurt leg. Baby Anthony's World, good quote right there. Warning sign for Harry. Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of this stuff in Philosopher's Stone is set up, but it's just fun. It's fun to think about that. Like Abigail in a way, like a lot of thing is like set up like that, like Snape's the bad guy, or like Snape's went to go see Fluffy. Like, it's all set up for the story, but it's just interesting when you read the rest of the series. Like, you're like, why would Snape be getting his leg bandaged up by Filch when he can heal Malfoy's entire body when it's ripped open? So that was just one thing that I noticed. Maybe he just didn't want to risk his own life. Yeah. And why didn't he and Madame Pomfrey? Yeah, exactly. Hamna Malfoy, that's a great question. Why didn't he go to Madame Pomfrey? Why did he go to Filch? Like, Filch can't do magic. Where do you think Fluffy came from? That is a good question, AYU. Does anyone know where Fluffy came from originally? I feel like it's probably like on Pottermore or something like that. Ooh, Fluffy or Fang, that's a good poll. I'm going to put that's going to be an early poll right now. Let's do. Let's do Fluffy or Fang. Yeah, someone Google where Fluffy came from. All right. There we go. The poll is out. Fluffy or Fang. Your question is useful, Miss Traveler. Great question. He's secretly a spy for Mars, Newt Scamander. Yeah, and Mars is bright tonight. That's a little bit further in our reading, but we're gonna get to that with the centaurs. It was awesome. Fluffy, and I'm not. The Google. Wow, Fang's getting some love. 52% for Fang over Fluffy. Newt Scamander, is that your favorite character? Oh wait, did Fluffy come from Newt Scamander? Is that true, Pureblood? Why didn't Dumbledore use Fluffy to protect the stone? What creature would you suggest to protect the stone? What creature would I suggest to protect the stone? Oh yeah, because like if you play him music, then he goes straight to sleep. Like that's like, and then we get another hint into that. What creature would I choose to protect the stone? Gosh, I mean, a phoenix. A phoenix wouldn't be. I feel like a phoenix is the most powerfully magical creature. I feel like there's nothing a phoenix can't do. Fluffy is from Yeah, but where did Hagrid get Fluffy? Because Hagrid had him, but I don't know where he reached. Yeah, a Greek chappie that at the Leaky Cauldron. Yeah. Kevin, are you having issues? So that's a bad idea, books. Okay, so the next thing that I noticed before Harry's first Quidditch match, they're at breakfast and Harry won't eat because he's so nervous about his Quidditch match. And Harry not eating before his Quidditch match mirrors Ron not eating before his first Quidditch match because of his nerves. And so in the books, Ron doesn't eat before his first Quidditch match in Order of the Phoenix. But in the Order of the Phoenix movie, there was no Quidditch. So that scene is in Half-Blood Prince when he looks at the pancakes and it's like the Armageddon sign or something like that, or like the end of days. And then and that's when Harry like fakes giving him the Felix Felicis. But Harry not eating before his Quidditch match mirrored Ron not eating before his first Quidditch match, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Hagrid goes and he watches the game with Ron and Hermione in the stands. But before he got there in the middle of the game. And he said that he was watching the match from his hut. And I was just like, what kind of, like, that must have been the worst angle of all time. He tried watching the match from his hut. Like, how are you going to know what's going on in the Quidditch game if you were, like, watching from way over there and, like, on the ground? I was like, what are you doing, Hagrid? Just go to the stadium. There's nothing else going on. And then, so obviously Quirrell jinxing the broom in the Quidditch match, that brings up a ton of questions. So the first question that I have is that, so if Snape knew that Quirrell was jinxing the broom and Snape was doing a counter jinx or a counter spell to save Harry's life, why didn't they report Quirrell for jinxing Harry's broom and trying to kill a student? Like, why didn't Snape be like, hey, Quirrell was jinxing the broom, like he's trying to kill a student? Like, why isn't he getting reported for that? Like, I have no idea. Like, why? Like, how does Snape not just be like, oh, he tried to kill a student? Should we say something about that, or like let's let him keep going until, like, I don't understand that at all. And then another thing that I didn't understand is while Harry's like flailing around on the broom and like it's obviously being jinxed and like he's hanging off it and like it's trying to shake him off. Like, the first thing that you would do if you're in the stands at the Quidditch match and you're seeing that happen to, like, Harry's broom, the first thing you would do is turn to the person next to you and be like, are you seeing, like, what's happening to Harry's broom? Like, are you seeing, like, what's going on up there? Like, that's nuts. That's the first thing you would do. So like, who was the person who was sitting next to Quirrell? Like, imagine being the person sitting next to Quirrell. Wouldn't you be like, yo, Quirrell, are you seeing this? And then Quirrell's just staring at Harry's broom, like muttering all these like jinxes, like under his breath. Like, wouldn't that person be like, oh, dude, you're the one jinxing the broom? Like, because that's the first thing that you would do if you were at the match. You'd be like, oh, man. So, like, the person who's sitting next to Quirrell, like, wouldn't you just like look at him and be like, oh, dude, it's you that's doing this. We should obviously arrest you. You know? ZZ, what's going on? Yeah, JK needed to keep the plot going. Yeah, Sharko, it's true. Yeah, it was the teacher stand. Yeah, but like there's someone, you know, like if someone's sitting next to him, like they'd be like, oh, dude, what are you doing, Quirrell? Like, that's weird that, you know? And then, yeah, because it's Hogwarts. And then also Hermione says she knows a jinx when she sees one. She says that in the movies too. She's trying to explain to Hagrid that it was Snape jinxing the broom, and Hermione's like, I know a jinx when I see one, and Snape wasn't blinking. And it's like, okay, yeah, Hermione knows a jinx when she sees one, but none of the adults who are at the Quidditch match know a jinx when they see one. Like a first year knows what a jinx is, but no one else does. Like, that was... And then afterwards, of course, like, and then afterwards, there's no inquiry to even forget all the like, forget them like not knowing that Quirrell was doing it or whatever. Like, there should at least be an inquiry to the fact that someone was jinxing a student's broom. There should be some kind of like, who was doing this, who tried to kill the student. But it was just like, oh, like someone tried to kill Harry, like boom, 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 like that's it, and there's no questioning about it. The teachers might have been, in Enola Potter, yeah. So they were watching the game, but it was obvious that like Harry was like getting like torn around on his broom. Like, it was. Some people are just more observant. That's true, Jess. Some people are more observant, and I like to think I'm one of them. It's because every staff trusted, because Hogwarts is Dumbledore. Miss Lazy, how you doing? Okay, so now we get to Christmas time. We get to Christmas at Hogwarts, which is obviously one of the best times at Hogwarts. Yeah, Hermione is smarter than them, but she's smarter. But I mean, you don't have to be the smartest wizard in the world to recognize a jinx. I feel like the Hogwarts, like, she's smarter than them, but it's her first year with magic, and the adults there they've been veterans in the magical world for years and years and years, so you know that they gotta recognize a jinx. Way smarter, yeah, Harry Potter fangirl. Yeah, Fatima, they had to make sure Harry didn't fall. Okay, so Christmas at Hogwarts. So Ron says he stayed at Hogwarts because the Weasley parents went to visit Charlie in Romania. But like, my question with that is, like, Bill and Charlie could easily apparate to the Burrow for Christmas. Like, they could be at the Burrow like in 10 seconds. So why would Mr. and Mrs. Weasley go to Romania to visit one of their kids, and they leave Percy, Fred, George, and Ron alone without their parents or family on Christmas? Like, Christmas, like, everyone wants to be together and everyone wants to be with family. So Mr. and Mrs. Weasley go all the way to Romania to visit one child when they can easily apparate to the Burrow. And they leave Fred, George, Percy, and Ron. Like, they leave 4 kids alone. They leave 4 kids alone to go visit one. Like, Charlie had loads of work, but you assume, yeah, Fatima, Charlie probably had loads of work, but they were visiting him for Christmas, so you would assume that they're gonna have family time, Christmas time over there. Like, he's not working the whole time. They're not. Mr. and Mrs. Weasley aren't going over there to watch him work. They're going over there to enjoy Christmas, you know? Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley have favoritism, yeah. So, who do you think... oh, by the way, Fang's winning 56%. That's crazy. Who do you think Mr. and Mrs. Weasley's favorite kid was? Who was the favorite Weasley kid from the parents? Who did the parents love the most? Let me see. Let me see what you guys think. What Weasley kid do you think? And it might be different for Mr. Weasley and Mrs. Weasley who their favorite kid is. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, Piggy. Emmer, how am I? I'm doing well. I mean, I gotta say, I'm wearing my. I don't know if you can see. I'm wearing my Zag shirt because Gonzaga is my college basketball team, and we're in the Elite Eight. So when we got our game tonight, I'm super excited about that. Talking Harry Potter with you guys. My life couldn't be better right now. I'm loving life right now. It was Harry. Oh, Harry. Yeah, everyone's saying Harry was the favorite kid. Yeah, Miss Lazy, Fatima, Emmer. Yeah, Emmer. Harry, Miss Lazy, Harry, and Ginny, Slytherin, Harry, Francesca, Harry, Jess, Ginny, Hamna, Ginny, AYU, Henny, a mix, Maya. You're not Luna, you're Maya. Enola, yeah, Harry. Ishan, you say Harry. The Chicken Whisperer, Harry. Oh, Percy, Ishan, now you're saying Percy. From Ollie, yeah, Harry, Mr. Weasley, the twins. Yeah, I like that. I feel like Mr. Weasley and the twins, like I feel like they connected really well. I feel like they were really good friends. Ginny. Okay. Scant Swords, of course I remember you. How you doing? Good to see you. Mira, you think Ginny? He sees him as head boy. Oh yeah, Baby Anthony's World. We're about to get into that with the Mirror of Erised. Okay, so the next thing that I noticed was that Hagrid gave Harry a flute for Christmas, which is obviously a nod to. It's obviously a nod to they're going to use the flute to play Fluffy to sleep because Fluffy falls asleep to music, and so Hagrid's really just like the maestro behind getting the Golden Trio to go save the Sorcerer's Stone, because he's telling them, he's like, oh, I can't tell you anything, but the whole time he's like, oh, like he tells them like all the hints, and he's like, I shouldn't have said that, and he gives Harry a flute for Christmas, which is the way to get past Fluffy to play music. It's just like Hagrid really the whole time was pulling the strings. Everyone says Dumbledore pulls the strings, but Hagrid low-key was pulling major strings behind the scenes. Do you remember everyone who comments a lot? Yeah, Chicken Whisperer, of course. Yeah, I recognize you. Baby Anthony's World. Guys, oh, you're having a sleepover? What you watch doesn't have to be Harry Potter. But I would suggest Harry Potter. Yeah, and then also, it's Hagrid giving Harry a flute for Christmas is kind of a weak gift, because it's Harry's first year in the Wizarding World. It's Harry's first year in the Wizarding World, and you get him a flute for Christmas? Like, I would be like, Hagrid, why aren't you getting me some super cool magical thing? Like Dumbledore gives him the invisibility cloak. It doesn't even have to be a cool magical thing. It could be a decent magical thing. But it's my first year in the Wizarding World, and you're getting me a flute for Christmas? Like, you can get me something way cooler for sure. And then the Hagrid is kind of poor, but I don't know. Hagrid gets some cool gifts like later on in the series, though. And Hagrid can makeshift his own gifts too, like because Hagrid could go into the forest and like makeshift some magical stuff. He has access to like, unicorn hair and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like he can make a cool makeshift gift. But it is true that, yeah, he was poor. He couldn't afford a lot. But I feel like Harry's one of the only people he'd be getting a gift for. So, Hagrid and his wand taped inside his pink umbrella with spell tape. Yep, that's true. Pure blood. RAB. Oh, someone's got RAB initials. That's awesome. When he became care of magical creatures. Oh, Miss Edith is here. And then something else that I noticed is Harry, Ron, Fred, and George were opening Christmas gifts in Harry and Ron's dormitory, and Percy comes in and he's like, "What's all this noise? Like, what's going on in here? What's all this noise?" It's just like, Percy, dude, you're being the absolute worst. It's Christmas morning, everyone's jolly opening gifts, and Percy just like comes in and he's like, "What's all this noise?" Like, it's like, dude, Percy, relax, man. Like, that's what I was. There's a lot to not like about Percy, and that's one of those things. It's like Christmas morning, and you're coming in like, what's all this noise? People are being joyful and opening presents. Like, nah. Percy is the worst. Yeah, Fatima. Yeah, I agree. Gryffindor. Hagrid got richer as this series went on. That's true. Yeah, Ishan, Percy is annoying. I was just reading that. I was like, Christmas morning, man. You can yell at people on any other day, whatever. Like, you do your thing, but Christmas morning, let people be joyful. And there's no one else in the common room, in Gryffindor common room. Everyone's at home for Christmas. They have the common room to themselves. Like, get out of here, Percy. And then also on Christmas, so Harry gets the invisibility cloak, and on his first night, he goes and finds the Mirror of Erised, which we're getting to. But first, before he goes to the Mirror of Erised, he goes to the library because he's trying to go into the restricted section to find stuff on Nicholas Flamel. And in the book, the restricted section is just blocked by a rope. Like, literally, it's just a rope that blocks students from going there. It's just like, are you kidding me? You guys are witches and wizards, and you block the restricted section with a rope? Okay, on to the Mirror of Erised. A lot of stuff to unpack here. I just thought it was really sad when Harry goes to the Mirror of Erised that he'd never seen his parents before. It's super sad that his parents died, but the fact that the Dursleys never showed him a picture of his parents. This was the first time he had, when he looked into the mirror and he saw his parents. He didn't know who they were at first, but then he saw that Lily has the same eyes as him, and that James's hair sticks up in the back the same way that Harry's does, and he's like, "Are these my parents?" Like, how sad is that? That not only his parents died, but he'd never seen he had no idea what they looked like. That like broke my heart when he was like, "Wait, is this my mom and is this my dad?" Like, that was heartbreaking for me. And then, okay, so with the Mirror of Erised, a lot of people have theories that the Mirror of Erised shows the future, because when Ron looks into it, he sees that he's head boy, Quidditch captain, and that he's holding the Quidditch cup, and the house cup and whatever. And a lot of people say that the Mirror of Erised shows the future because they say, oh, Harry saw his parents in the mirror, and in the future he does see his parents in Deathly Hallows, so it could tell the future. And then Ron saw all this stuff, but here's why it doesn't tell the future, because Ron did win the Quidditch Cup. And people say if Ron and Harry had a seventh year, that Ron would be head boy and Quidditch captain. But I don't think that's true, because if they did go for their seventh year, Harry would have been Quidditch captain, because he was Quidditch captain in the sixth year. And I think Harry would be head boy, because it's much like when the Marauders were at school. Lupin was prefect in the fifth year. What would I see in the mirror? Lupin was prefect in fifth year, and James wasn't prefect because he was still like jinxing everyone, and he was still immature, and he was still a bully. But by their seventh year, even though James wasn't prefect, he was made head boy because he had calmed down, he'd stopped bullying people. And I think it would be Harry and Ron would have the same situation, where Ron's made prefect in their fifth year, and then Harry's made head boy in the seventh year, even though he wasn't a prefect. Because Dumbledore says the only reason that Harry wasn't a prefect is because Dumbledore didn't want to put another thing on his plate. So that's the only reason that Harry wasn't prefect. So I think Harry would be made head boy when he wasn't a prefect, like James was made head boy when he wasn't a prefect. So I thought that would have happened. Let me put up a poll. Let me put up a new poll for you guys, seeing whether you think it would be Harry or who would have been. So Fang got 60% of the votes of who you like more. Okay. Mirror show what we... Okay, here's what I would see in the Mirror of Erised. Gonzaga. I'd see Gonzaga winning the national championship. I'd see Gonzaga winning the college national basketball championship. That's what I'd see. Okay. Who would have been head boy? Ron or Harry? I'm interested. I feel like Harry's going to win this, basically because of what I just explained. But we'll see what you guys think. Ron or Harry? All right, let's see. Who would have been head boy in their 7th year, Ron or Harry? Also, if you guys enjoy the stream, make sure to leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you drop a like in there, maybe we can get to 50 likes. We're at 31. That'd be awesome. Harry, 71%. Yeah, because that's a big theory with the Mirror of Erised, and a lot of people really stick by that it shows the future. But Ron wouldn't have been Quidditch captain, and I don't think he'd be head boy for the reasons I just explained. 75% Harry. I'm convincing some people. I love it. Okay. So here's another thing that I noticed. So the first night that Harry visits the Mirror of Erised, he was by himself. And then the second night that he visits the mirror, and he almost gets caught by Filch. So he was by himself the first night. He almost gets caught. The second night, he brought Ron with him, and they almost got caught as well. And then the next morning, Harry's like, I want to go back a third night to the Mirror of Erised. And Ron's like, no, dude, like, you can't. He was like, I want to go back tonight. And Ron was like, no, it's way too risky. You can't go back tonight. You're going to get caught for sure. Like, Filch is definitely going to catch you. And I was just thinking, like, Harry, I was like, Harry, why don't you just go during the day? It's perfectly legal for Harry to just go to that room where the Mirror of Erised is, like, at noon. Why was Harry like? Why did Harry go at night? Why did when he's breaking the rules? Why didn't he go at 1 in the afternoon to go to the Mirror of Erised? You know, that's a. Because Harry was like, I'm going back tonight. Like, I need to go back tonight. And Ron's like, no, don't do it. You're gonna get caught for sure. It's like, I'd be like, Harry, go at noon when it's legal to go. You can be there all day. Why are you going at night when you're breaking the rules? Sorry, Maya. Sorry if I'm gonna talk to you. I'm just when I'm trying to explain something, it's hard for me to see everyone's chat when I'm explaining. My bad, Maya. Oh, I love the hearts. Oh, and something else that I noticed. Harry saw his whole family. Oh, yeah. So in the books, Harry does see his whole family, like grandparents, aunts, uncles. Maya, I got you. And something else that I noticed. Yeah, don't spam it. Hey, don't spam it, guys. Let's let everyone just chat. Please don't spam it if it's annoying other people, because people want their messages to be seen. So another thing that I noticed is that Dumbledore tells Harry, obviously, when Harry asks Dumbledore what he sees in the Mirror of Erised, Dumbledore says he sees himself holding a nice pair of woolen socks, but then the part that caught my eye or my ear, because I was listening to the audiobooks, was that after Dumbledore says that, he was like, it was such a shame. Like, another Christmas has gone by and no one got me a pair of socks. Like, all I was looking for was a pair of socks, and no one got me a pair of socks yet again for Christmas. And I was thinking, Dumbledore must have been over the moon when he hired Dobby in Goblet of Fire, because all Dobby gives as presents are socks. Dobby gives Harry socks for Christmas. I think he gives Ron socks for Christmas or whatever. So all Dumbledore ever wanted for Christmas is a pair of socks. So he must have been so over the moon when he hired Dobby, because Dobby gives socks for Christmas presents, and he probably gave Dumbledore a pair of socks, and Dumbledore was probably like, "Yes, let's go." Yeah, Baby Anthony's World. I thought that was cool because like it's like everyone gets the whole he looks for socks in the mirror, but I was thinking like, oh, he was probably hyped when, yeah, socks for life, socks for life. Thanks, Guest Rivera. Thank you. Yes, we love Dobby, Miss Traveler. He sees Grindelwald. Yeah. So I wonder if he would still see Grindelwald, because he saw Grindelwald in the mirror when he was younger, but your heart's desire could change. And do you think he still saw Grindelwald? That's a good question. I'm gonna put that in the poll. All right, 68% voted for Harry as head boy. I'm gonna make that another poll right now. Of do you think Dumbledore still saw Grindelwald? Do you think Dumbledore still saw Grindelwald in the mirror as an old man? Let's see what you guys think. Do you guys think that Dumbledore still saw Grindelwald when he was older? Because I feel like his heart's desire probably, you always think yes, 67% yes. Dobby is giving Dumbledore a pair of mismatched socks, yeah. And Dumbledore would have been over the moon about it. $59% yes, 61%. Okay, so now done with the Mirror of Erised. Those were just a couple thoughts that I had on the Mirror of Erised. So on to Harry's second Quidditch match. Yes, rest in peace to Dobby for sure. Rest in peace to Dobby for sure. That was very sad. He saw his sister Ariana. Oh yeah. But so pureblood Gryffindor. Pureblood Gryffindor. That's interesting because he saw Grindelwald in the mirror after Ariana was already dead. So when we see Dumbledore see Grindelwald in the mirror, that's after Ariana was already dead. So I don't think he would see Ariana, because that she had already died, and he saw Grindelwald in the mirror. You know what I mean? I love Dobby too, Baby Anthony's World. Okay, so on to Harry's second Quidditch match versus Slytherin. So I just thought it was unreal that they had Snape refereeing the Gryffindor versus Slytherin match. Like Snape is the head of Slytherin House, and he's going to be the referee of a Slytherin Quidditch game. I just thought that was so biased. Like, and like they had Snape as the referee because he was going to protect Harry if Harry ever got jinxed or whatever. But if Dumbledore was at the match, if Dumbledore was the one who made Snape referee because he wanted to protect Harry, but that doesn't even, it's redundant because Dumbledore went to the match to protect Harry. Snape wouldn't have to protect Harry if Dumbledore was at the match, and that's even what Quirrell says later on. Quirrell said that he couldn't do anything in the second match because Dumbledore was there. So Snape didn't need to be the referee of that game because Dumbledore was there to protect Harry. And how could they just make Snape the referee of a Slytherin match? Like, that's so biased. And then also something that I noticed is that in the books, Neville gives Harry a Dumbledore chocolate frog card, which reminds Harry of Nicholas Flamel. And he's like, oh, this is who Nicholas Flamel is. Oh my God, like, oh, thanks, Neville. So in the books, like Neville reminded him, but in the movies that never happens. It's just Hermione. Hermione's like, oh, I checked this book out weeks ago for a bit of light reading. Here's Nicholas Flamel. But in the books, it's Neville. All right, Helene, thanks for joining. Bye, Baby Anthony's World. Thanks for joining. Galaxy of Facts, how you doing? Snape is confused himself. Guess Rivera. I wish I could ask J.K. Rowling. And then, okay, here's something else that I was questioning. So if Nicholas Flamel had safely protected the Sorcerer's Stone for 600 years, like Nicholas Flamel is 600 and something years old, so he has safely protected the Sorcerer's Stone for that long of a time period. And Voldemort wasn't the first person who was going after the Sorcerer's Stone. Or Philosopher's Stone, whatever you want to call it. I call it Sorcerer's Stone because I'm in the USA. So Voldemort wasn't the first person going after the Sorcerer's Stone, because the Sorcerer's Stone gives the person eternal life and endless amounts of gold. So anyone would want that. There's probably people going after the Sorcerer's Stone Nicholas Flamel's whole entire life. And so he safely protected it for 600 years. So why did Dumbledore think, hey, like I need to take the stone for safekeeping? Voldemort's after the stone. I need to take it for safekeeping. If I was Nicholas Flamel, I'd be like, Dumbledore, dude, I got this. I've been protecting this from people for 600 years, and no one's gotten it. It's like Dumbledore, like, why? Who is Dumbledore to be like, oh, Voldemort's after the stone. I need to protect the stone. Like, I need to put it in Gringotts or like Hogwarts. It's like, if I was Nicholas Flamel, I'd be like, yo, dude, people have been after this stone for 600 years and I've protected it this whole time. Dumbledore, get out of here. You know what I mean? That 11-year-old's got past. Yeah, Galaxy of Facts, that's true. Your new PFP and user? Maya, did you change your name or something? You can only revise two. Dobby, Dumbledore, Remus, Sirius, Snape. Who are you reviving? Not Snape. F Snape. I'm reviving Sirius and Dumbledore, because for me they're two characters that I love reading, that I love just like reading their scenes. I love reading Dumbledore's scenes because he's such a genius and he's so interesting and he knows so much and he's so clever with his words. I love reading Dumbledore scenes. And then Sirius is just so cool and adventurous, and I feel like Sirius always wants to go and do like adventurous fun things. So I love reading about Sirius as well. So I'd go Dumbledore and Sirius. That's a great question though, by the way. Sudeep. Yeah, Sudeep. So Dumbledore saw socks, and so I bet he was, and I said it earlier in the stream, but I bet he was hyped when he hired Dobby, because Dobby probably gave him socks for Christmas. Jess, you'd revive Remus and Sirius? Yeah, to have the best friends back together. Dumbledore was more of an old troll, in my opinion. He definitely was a troll in a certain light. Yeah, but don't you agree with that? Like, if I was Nicholas Flamel, I'd be like, Dumbledore, I've been protecting this stone for 600 years. Get off my back. Can you spell loadout? Oh, Emma Smith. Oh yeah, got my. Oh yeah, you can't see my spell. Oh, because I'm flying on my broom. I guess you can't see my spells when I'm flying on my broom. Oh, Galaxy of Facts. You totally agree. Yeah, Ishan, Miss Traveler. Yeah. And then here was a foreshadowing moment. Harry says that he had the feeling that Snape could read minds, and so that's just foreshadowing into occlumency and Snape's ability to do occlumency and legilimency. And then also Neville's first brave moment in the series came in Harry's second Quidditch match against Slytherin. when him and Malfoy are having an argument in the stands, and Neville turns to Malfoy, who's been just bullying him this whole year, and he turns to Malfoy and he's like, "I'm worth 12 of you, Malfoy." Like, he's super scared, but it's Neville's first like brave moment. It's when he's finally like standing up for himself, and so it's like, there we go, Neville. You're gonna do a lot more as the series goes, but that was his first brave moment, and I loved it. Do we got any Neville fans in the chat? I feel like Neville's underrated. Do you guys think Neville's underrated? And also, 68% of you think that Dumbledore still saw Grindelwald in the Mirror of Erised. That's interesting. I'd say no. I'd say no on that poll. Mira, you're a Neville fan? Swara? And so, also, another thing that I noticed is that a lot of people think that the rivalry is between Harry and Draco, but I think the rivalry is more between Ron and Draco. Because Harry's the main character, so everyone's all like, of course, going to pin Harry against Draco. But Ron and Draco fight way more than Harry and Draco do. On the train to Hogwarts, Harry and Draco and Ron got in a fist fight. And then before Christmas, when Hagrid's bringing in the tree and Draco starts making fun of Ron because his family's poor, and Ron and Draco get into another fist fight, and Snape comes and breaks it up and only takes points away from Gryffindor. And then at the Quidditch match, Draco's making fun of Ron again for being poor, and they get into another fist fight. So a lot of people think that the rivalries between Harry and Draco, and I think it's because Harry's the main character, but Ron and Draco have way more battles than Harry and Draco do. Do you guys agree with that? I don't know if I'm seeing that. I don't know if while I was reading I was seeing it wrong, but how do you guys see that? Like, yeah, Witch King, shout out Witch King. Luna is underrated. Everything is very partial towards Draco. Yeah, Ishan, you agree with that? Yeah, Dre. Miss Traveler, you agree? The first fight was because they couldn't do spells yet. Yeah, Sudeep, yeah, they couldn't do spells, but even when they can do spells, they still just fist fight with each other. Pauly B, do you think Harry and Neville spent time together as infants, given their parents are in the order? So I think Harry was born while Lily and James were already in hiding. I could be wrong about that, but if they didn't, then I think Harry and Neville definitely spent time together as infants. Neville is underrated. Arpon, that's a great question, by the way, Pauly B. I love that question. I want to save that in my memory. Arpon, Neville is underrated. Galaxy of Facts. Ron, Draco, Neville. Draco is more than Harry. Draco is stated for Ron. Draco. The Chicken Whisperer, Lupin and Sirius or Dobby and Hedwig. Lupin and Sirius for sure. Like, I love Dobby and Hedwig are sweet characters, but Lupin and Sirius, like, them together would be so much more fun to read about. Guess the most iconic. Yeah, because the prophecy was made. What do you think of Dumbledore? Yeah, shout out Maya. Maybe he saw Grindelwald with... Yeah, and Nola, that's hilarious. Maybe he saw Grindelwald with socks. And Nola, that's a great comment. I love that. Draco had more... Yeah, Draco had more to make fun of about Ron. Yeah. But I don't know if... Do you think I was seeing that wrong? Like, I think the rivalry is way more between Ron and Malfoy than it is between Harry and Malfoy. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but... Yeah, Chicken Whisperer, Enola Potter. Yeah, that Sideep, Enola, that was a great joke. And then here's another moment. So after the Quidditch match, Snape goes into the Forbidden Forest, and Harry sees Snape going into the Forbidden Forest. So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go track Snape and see what the heck he's doing in there." So Snape goes to meet Quirrell in the Forbidden Forest, and Harry goes on his broom and like lands in a tree, and he's overhearing their conversation, and Snape asks Quirrell if he's figured out how to get past Fluffy yet. And it's like, and I'm like, what the heck? Wait, so you know that Quirrell is trying to get the stone and trying to figure out how to get past Fluffy. why is no one doing about anything about him? Why is like the whole point of the story is trying to protect the Sorcerer's Stone and trying to figure out who's going after it. And like, if they know Quirrell is the bad guy and he's going after it, why is no one doing anything about it? Like it was my mind was going nuts. I was like, you guys know it's Quirrell. You guys know it's Quirrell and you're not doing it. Like I was like, what is going on here? Yeah, split your soul 7 parts of the whole. Oh, that rhymes. Split your soul 7 parts of the whole. Bookmarked. What's up, Bookmarked, by the way? I recognize you. Sometimes Snape was a Voldemort's protector. Nah. You're on the 3rd floor and end up in the Great Hall as you go down the trapdoor. Oh, Maya, you're back. What's up? They thought that after all, Harry was at Hogwarts with Ron and Hermione. He said, don't worry, they'll do it themselves. Yeah. They always let the kids do it. They know Quirrell. They know Quirrell tried to kill a student. They know he's going after the Sorcerer's Stone, and they're not doing anything about it. It blinds me with rage. Okay, so another question I had is when Charlie and his friends come to rescue Norbert from Hogwarts, how did they fly through the enchantments? Like, how did Charlie and his friends just fly through Hogwarts enchantments to get into the school and then fly back out? And when they were rescuing Norbert, I didn't understand that. Guess Rivera, is it iconic that James Potter was a pureblood who bullied Snape and he was half-blooded? Oh yeah. So I actually made a video about that, about how James and Snape are like how James Potter and Draco Malfoy are very similar in a lot of ways. Hold on, I've got a sneeze coming on. But so Sudeep, the enchantments go all the way around Hogwarts. So you can't fly into Hogwarts. If you try to fly in from like just straight down from like the top, like the enchantment is on top of Hogwarts. So you just can't get into the school no matter what. And they just flew in. That kind of confused me. The dragon cancels out but they didn't have the dragon coming in. So I mean, I don't think that would work in the first place, but they didn't have the dragon while they were coming in. Maybe they landed down and went. No, but they flew in. They didn't land down and then walk in. They flew in. They picked it up from the astronomy tower. Yeah. And then, so another question that I had is when Harry and Hermione, no one knows how to get past the enchantments. Otherwise, everyone would be getting into Hogwarts because all the Death Eaters, if former students knew how to get past the enchantments, then all the Death Eaters and Voldemort would be able to get in all the time because they all went to Hogwarts. Hey, MLMC, how you doing? Jess, Mira, Tick and Whisper, Hermione. Oh. So another question that I had is when Harry and Hermione are bringing Norbert's cage, they bring Norbert's cage all the way from Hagrid's hut through the grounds, and then they get to the castle and they bring it all the way up to the astronomy tower, and they're carrying Norbert's cage and Norbert with Norbert in it all that way, and they're like, oh my god, this is so heavy, like this is so difficult. And I was thinking, why didn't they use Wingardium Leviosa to float, to have Norbert's cage like floating with them instead of carrying that huge cage that whole way? Why didn't they use Wingardium Leviosa? I thought that would have been pretty convenient because it was one of the main spells they learned that year, and they could have just had Norbert's cage like levitating with them as they walked up the astronomy tower instead of carrying it, you know? Yeah, Chicken Whisperer, you like that, Francesca? Ishan, you agree? Yeah, because and I was especially thinking it because it's like the main spell that that gets shouted out in the books is Wingardium Leviosa. So I was like, why didn't they use that to levitate the cage all the way up there? Yeah, Pureblood. They did forget the invisibility cloak because J.K. didn't think of that. Yeah, it's true. She can't think of everything, and the books are amazing. But it's fun to discuss these little things that you think about. It's just fun to discuss them. So there's no length of time, Sudeep. If they're constantly if they're constantly thinking about the spell or whatever, there's no length of time that doesn't go away after like 30 seconds or whatever. And so here's one thing that Hogwarts Legacy got wrong, and actually I kind of want to test it out, is that so Harry and Hermione say that if you can turn it to day or night. I don't know if I can do that. How do you do that? I have no idea. But Harry and Hermione, so they say that the astronomy tower is out of bounds to students besides class time. But in Hogwarts Legacy, when you're going around during the day, there's just students up there all the time. So that's one thing that Hogwarts Legacy got wrong, is that the astronomy tower is supposed to be out of bounds besides classes. But in Hogwarts Legacy, there's those students there. So that's just another thing that I kind of forgot or kind of recognized. Maybe because it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Very true. Very true, pure blood. Guess Rivera maybe Dumbledore knew and favored Harry so much he lowered the enchantments. So Guess Rivera, that's a good thought that a lot of people have. But Dumbledore didn't know about the dragon because it says because earlier on Harry tells Hagrid that he's like, oh, Malfoy can go to Dumbledore at any time and tell him that you have a dragon. You have to get rid of Norbert because Malfoy can go to Dumbledore at any time and say that you have a dragon and it's illegal to have a dragon. And Hagrid responds by saying, like, I know he can. Like, I know I got to get rid of him. So that proves that Hagrid didn't tell Dumbledore about the dragon. So that proves that Dumbledore didn't know about the dragon, because if he did, then Hagrid would have been like in trouble for it or whatever. Pepe, how you doing, Dr. Pepe? Students use the astronomy tower as a romantic spot. Yeah, probably. I mean, the astronomy tower is stargazing. That is very romantic. Okay. Yeah, Pepe, how you doing? Do you think Dumbledore was good or bad? I think bad overall. I think he may have had good intentions, but it's just there's just so much bad in there. I gotta go bad, I think. So another thing that I noticed, Evadine, how you doing? What is it called, the name? Emma, he left Harry to die. Okay, so another thing that I noticed is that Harry overhears Quirrell talking to Voldemort in a classroom. Like, Harry's just walking through a corridor and he hears Quirrell talking to Voldemort, but Harry thinks he's talking to Snape. And Quirrell says to Voldemort, "Please, like, not again, not again. I'll do it. Please, like, don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again. Like, I'll do it." But at that point, wasn't Voldemort too weak to do magic? In the graveyard in Goblet of Fire, Voldemort says he was powerless. He was weaker than the meanest ghost, and the only power he had to him was that he could possess people. So, I mean, maybe he was doing something mentally to Quirrell. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he was invading his mind, and giving him pain. But that's probably it, as I'm thinking about it right now. And then another thing that I noticed is, so when the Golden Trio are going to do their detention with Hagrid in the forest, Filch is bringing them out to Hagrid, and he says that he used to hang students from the ceilings by their ankles. And I was like, when did Filch do that? Because Dumbledore has been the headmaster as long as Filch has been there. So when was Filch hanging kids by the ceilings when Dumbledore was there? Because Dumbledore obviously wouldn't allow that. Umbridge would, but Dumbledore wouldn't. So when was Filch hanging students from the ceiling if Dumbledore was there his whole time? And then, so here's one thing that pissed me off about Hagrid. Because Hagrid, you gotta love Hagrid, but there was a couple things in this chapter that kind of made me be like, Hagrid, dude, man, I don't like that at all. So Hagrid's talking to Malfoy when they're on the detention. So they got the detention for being up at night. Harry and Hermione got the detention for being up late at night, for getting Norbert out, for getting Norbert out to Charlie Weasley and them. And so Hagrid says to the kids, he says, "You've done wrong, and now you've got to pay for it." So he tells Draco like that being being up at night was wrong, and he was like, "You've done wrong, and you've got to pay for it." And I was like, "That's so hypocritical, Hagrid," because they were up late at night. Harry and Hermione were up late at night because they were saving your neck by getting Norbert out of there. Like Harry, like he was like, "You've done wrong, and now you've got to pay for it." But that's so hypocritical because they were saving Hagrid from getting like arrested for having a dragon. I was like, Hagrid, that's hypocritical. Does anyone agree with that, or? Yeah, Ishan. Evadine, love the hearts. Love the hearts. Guess Rivera. Also, if you enjoy the stream, make sure to leave a like. Oh, we got to 50. Can we get to 60 likes? We get to 60 likes. Like the stream if you enjoy. Bye, Francesca. Thanks for joining. Wow, 57 likes just like that. I love it. So here's another thing. Here's another thing that kind of got me a little angry about. Hagrid. Not angry actually. This didn't get me angry at Hagrid. It's just that he lied. Because he told Harry, Hermione, Ron, Neville, he was like, "Nothing in the forest will hurt you if you're with me or if you're with Fang." But that's actually not true, because in Chamber of Secrets, Ron and Harry go into the forest with Fang, and the spiders try to eat them. So Hagrid says, "Nothing in the forest will hurt you if you're with me or Fang." But then in Chamber of Secrets, Harry and Ron go into the forest and the spiders try to kill them. So it's actually not true that no one will hurt them if they're with Fang. Dr. Pepe, thanks for joining. And how did Hagrid not have any effects from touching unicorn blood, or is it just drinking it? Oh yeah, because didn't he taste it? Didn't he go like that? Did Hagrid taste the blood? Oh yeah, Eric. Oh, Eric's a member too. Yeah, Eric, how you doing? That's a great question. Eric, shout out for being a member of the channel. I love that. That's a great question. Yeah, did Hagrid taste the blood? I forget if he did. Do you guys think that Hagrid tasted the blood? Mr. Ruby Malfoy, how you doing? Jess, you don't think he did pure blood? I guess not. I'm gonna have to reread that. I'm gonna have to reread that part and watch the movie, because I feel like when I was watching the movie, when I feel like my memory of him watching I feel like I can remember Hagrid going like that and be like, "Yep, that's unicorn blood." But I'll have to rewatch it. But that's interesting, Eric. That's a great question. Um, and then Galaxy of Facts: Why Hagrid left Draco and Harry together, like not to take Draco to himself so he can look after mischief. Yeah, that's true, Galaxy. Even Hagrid splitting the group up at all. Even Hagrid like having first years go by themselves in the forest at all is just like, what the heck are you doing, dude? Like, these guys are gonna get killed by anything in here. And then so I had a question about, so Hagrid knew that there was, like, it was known that there was someone killing unicorns in the Forbidden Forest. So if it was known that someone was killing unicorns in the Forbidden Forest and unicorn blood gives the drinker life, then wouldn't it be obvious that it's Voldemort that's doing it? Like Voldemort trying to get life. So why did they have like first years go investigate it? Why didn't Dumbledore go into the forest and be like, hey, what's going on in here? Like, I didn't understand that. Like, why did they have first years going in and not Dumbledore? And then while they're on the detention, Hagrid says, "We've got to get this done." And he's talking to first years. It's like, if I was a first year, I'd be like, I'd be like, what do you like? Hagrid's like, "We've got to get this done." I'd be like, if you have to get this done, why are you taking first years with you to solve this problem? What the heck are we going to do about this? If you've got to get this done, get some aurors and get some professors in here. If you like, what the heck? I'd be like, I'm 11 years old. Like, I've learned 3 spells. Why am I the one who has to get this done? The Adventure of Potterheads, how we doing? Mozag didn't eat up Aragog after someone was on a murder spree. Yeah, that's true, Galaxy of Facts. So, Enola Potter, you said Hagrid and Fang. Hagrid specifically said, "No one will harm you if you're with me or Fang." And he was like, "Fang, you'll be good with Fang." So when he sent Fang off with Neville and Draco, he was like, "Oh, they'll be fine because no one will harm you if you're with me or Fang." But then in Chamber of Secrets, Harry and Ron go in with Fang, and the spiders try to eat him. And also, so something else that I noticed is that the pain, it's widely believed that the pain in Harry's scar happens when he's close to Voldemort. But I actually don't think that's true, because in the forest, he's close to Voldemort, so he sees Voldemort drinking the blood and he's close to him. But nothing happens to his scar until Voldemort starts walking towards him, and Voldemort gets closer, and then he recognizes Harry, and then Harry's like, in a shot of pain shot through Harry's scar. So his scar doesn't hurt just because he's close to Voldemort. It happens when Voldemort has a moment of emotion, rage, joy, whatever it is. And so Voldemort recognized Harry and got super amped up, and that's when Harry's scar hurt. And that's why in the beginning, in the opening feast scene, when Quirrell's talking to Snape, Harry's in the Great Hall with Quirrell and Voldemort that whole time, but his scar doesn't hurt. But then something in Snape and Quirrell's conversation made Voldemort angry or happy, and then pain shot through Harry's scar just randomly at the opening feast. And he was like, "What the heck was that?" So that's why I was questioning. I wonder what Snape was saying to Quirrell that made Voldemort either happy or mad in that moment. Piggy, I love you too. Maybe he wasn't paying attention to his scar till Voldy came near. I mean, he would notice the pain. It's the pain that happens. It doesn't. He wasn't paying attention to it. It's not like it's pain. Like, he feels it. It's not like he's like thinking about something. You feel the pain when it happens. Oh, you saw the video when I was talking about that. Oh, whose birthday is it? Hey, spam birthday cakes in the chat. Happy birthday. Oh, Maya, it's your birthday? Spam birthday cakes in the chat for Maya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Maya. Today's my birthday, but no one shall. Evadine, happy birthday. How you doing? Happy birthday, Evadine. I hope it's a good one. Boom, boom. And so another part that was interesting in the Forbidden Forest during their detention was that centaurs knew that Voldemort was going to kill Harry in the Forbidden Forest before like the series even started. I don't know how long they've known it, but in Philosopher's Stone, Firenze saves Harry from Voldemort in the forest, and the other centaurs are pissed off because they say, haven't we read in the stars like what's about to happen? Like, why did you mess with fate? Like, why did you mess with fate? Because the centaurs have already read in the stars that Harry is going to die at Voldemort's hands in the Forbidden Forest. They just don't know when. And so Firenze saves Harry from Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest, and the other centaurs are pissed because they've read in the stars that that's supposed to happen. They don't know when, but it's cool that from the Philosopher's Stone, they like JK planted that seed that Harry is going to die at Voldemort's hands in the Forbidden Forest. I thought that was awesome. Did anyone else notice that? If Harry's going to die anyway, what's the matter if he's saved? But so Siddeep, they were just pissed off because the centaurs don't like to mess with anything with the fates. So the other centaurs thought that was the moment that Harry was supposed to die, and Firenze messed with it. So that's why they were pissed off. He had to die at the proper time. Very, very true. Very true. But the centaurs didn't know that. They just thought that Firenze messed with it, and they don't like messing with the fates. Yeah, they don't like to help humans. That's true, Sudeep. And then there was an early nod to Horcruxes and the whole difference between Harry and Voldemort for when Firenze's telling Harry that the creature in the forest that was drinking the unicorn blood was Voldemort, and Harry asks, like, who would want to live a cursed life? Like, who would want to drink unicorn blood if it gives you life, but you live a cursed life? And Harry was like, wouldn't it be better to die than live a cursed life? And that's the difference between Voldemort and Harry. That Harry is like, wouldn't it be better to die? But for Voldemort, it's a nod to Horcruxes, because Voldemort making Horcruxes, you're splitting your soul, and you're going to be cursed forever if you do such evil actions. And so Voldemort is willing to drink unicorn's blood to be cursed, and he's willing to split his soul to live forever. He's willing to do those two things rather than die. And then that curses him in the end, because as we see in Deathly Hallows, Voldemort, when he's up in wherever, heaven, or I don't know what it was, when Harry goes to see Dumbledore after he dies, and he sees that Voldemort's going to be cursed in eternity. So it's an early nod to Horcruxes and Voldemort saying, I'd rather live a cursed life than die. Voldy killed many people and didn't even have a nose and hair. Yeah, it's true. Could be an ingredient for Felix Felicis. I feel like unicorn is that's actually a cool video idea. Felix Felicis being the opposite of unicorn blood, because one gives you luck and one makes you cursed. That's a good video idea, Sideep. Can you find Peeveses or the Bloody Baron? I don't think I've seen the Bloody Baron in Hogwarts Legacy yet. Monday is James's birthday, Nola. All right, everyone. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream there. I think we'll do the last 2 chapters of Philosopher's Stone and the first 3 chapters of Chamber of Secrets for next week. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream, and do you guys let me know if you guys enjoy this book club every week. If it's something that you guys like doing, or let me know. Let me know in the chat. Oh, you just started reading Chamber of Secrets? Perfect. I love it. Yeah, so next week's book club. Chicken Whisperer, you love it? So deep, it's fun. Nice. Pure Blood, you love the book club? Galaxy really made. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoy it, because I want to do things that you guys enjoy on this channel. I want to make sure that you guys are liking what I'm doing. So, really nice. The Adventures of Potterheads, you like it? Jess, you like it? Okay, cool. Okay, so next week's book club is going to be on the last 2 chapters of Philosopher's Stone, and I think we'll do the first 3 chapters of Chamber of Secrets. I'll come out with that announcement soon. I just got to look at how long those first 3 chapters are, but depending on the length, we're going to do last 2 chapters of Philosopher's Stone and first 3 chapters of Chamber of Secrets. Like the stream if you enjoy it. Tune in next Saturday or Sunday morning for next week's book club. Last 2 chapters of Philosopher's Stone, first 3 chapters of Chamber of Secrets. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining. And you're reading Chamber of Secrets, Gryffindor Girl? I love it. Oh, you love the book club? Oh, this is your first week, Guess Rivera? I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, we're starting Chamber of Secrets next week. You're reading Prisoner of Azkaban, Jess. I love it. You're a little bit ahead. Hope maybe we'll catch up to you. You're reading Goblet of Fire. I love it. For the millionth time, Goblet of Fire is a good one. Yeah, so we're gonna do this book club every week until we get to the end of Deathly Hallows. So I don't know. That could take over a year of us doing this. So that's awesome. Have a nice day, everyone. Yeah, have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Chicken Whisperer by Galaxy of Facts. Guess Rivera by Jess. Thanks for joining. Luganark, how you doing? The video will be available after I end the stream, Luganark, if you missed it and you want to see it. Guess Rivera, the Chicken Whisperer, Maya, Evadine, Pureblood Gryffindor, Noob, Jess, The Adventure of Potterheads, Hermione Granger. Thanks for joining. See you all next week. Sadeep, great comments. Also, Eric, if you're still in the chat, thanks for being a member. You're the best. And you had a great question. I want to see if Hagrid drank the blood. I'm going to check into that after this. All right, everyone. Peace out. Have a